So you're considering moving to the great state of Florida. Well, welcome. You're not alone. But you're wondering, is it going to be worth it moving here? Well, it may not be easy, but it's totally worth it. If you're waiting for those bits of information of why, stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group right here in the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. If this is your first time to our channel, we do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know about our area. Now, as a military veteran of 14 years and now a military spouse, I've moved so many places. Every time I moved somewhere, there was always such a lack of information on where to move to and what to anticipate. That's why we created this channel for you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click that little bell so you're notified every single time we got a new video coming out. Now honestly, we get tons of phone calls, emails, and texts from all you lovely people wanting to know what it's like to eat, sleep, work, play here in the lovely Emerald Coast in the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area, and we absolutely love it. So if you need some help, you need some info, give us a call, text, email, find us on social media, whatever you got to do. We got your back when moving here to the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Florida. It's maybe not easy living here, which I can contest to. It's totally worth it. So what is Florida popular for? The entire state of Florida is wonderful, and it's usually because of the great weather. You know, we have pretty mild winters all throughout this area. Depending upon where you're moving from, it's really nice. And even in the area that we're in Northwest Florida, it does get a little chilly, but chilly is a relative term. It will get down to maybe 40s, sometimes in the 30s, but mostly 40s and 50s in our winter time. And then as soon as spring hits, it's, back up to that beautiful weather. Also, we have really nice beaches all around. Now, I'm not going to say that the ones over on the Atlantic are less better than the ones over here on the Gulf. There's beautiful access to the beach all over the place. Gorgeous beach. What we have here on the Gulf Coast, we have that white sand beach, usually flanked by just vast forest. It's just an amazing place to be here. Also, you have amusement parks. Don't forget about Orlando, or if you're anywhere in the state of Florida, you're only just a few hour drive away to go over to Disneyland and all those wonderful things that you can go have a great time doing. And of course, why people come down here and pilgrimage down here, whatever you want to call it, it's the vacation life. You're surrounded by people that just love being on vacation. Who doesn't, right? So you're around that great atmosphere, and it's just really nice to just live where you would normally vacation. So what are some challenges to you as full-time residents? All right, well, let's start with number one. I've got 7 I'm going to go through for you. Number 1 is the tourism. Now, we love the tourists. If it wasn't for them, this economy wouldn't be where it is, okay? But because of it, we got lots of crowds, right? And the crowds are way worse now, if I can be honest with you, because of the political environment and COVID-19 restrictions in other states, right? Wherever you are with that, that's the reality. People are going from their state, and more people are coming down to Florida just to get a break from those restrictions. And because of that, the crowds are quite a bit more than they typically are. But the tourism are great, as I mentioned before. It's just really nice because who's going to be miserable on vacation? Probably no one. And if they are, they're sulking in their hotel room, looking over the beautiful coast or the beaches or something, all right? But usually it just brings up the atmosphere. People are a lot more apt to just be friendly, and that really adds to the Florida environment. At least here in Northwest Florida too, we do have that southern hospitality that you get mixed with the Floridianisms. I just made that up, but it's just a really good feel to come down here and live and have that around. Now, number 2, it does get hot and sometimes cold here in Florida. And now, again, this is all relative, right? Depending on where you're from, but it does get hot. And the hot is not like Arizona hot. So if you're in Arizona now, you're going to be shaking your head like, yeah, Tim, I know what you're talking about. Because it could be 100 degrees out there, but it's dry. So yeah, it's hot, but it's just a different feeling. You come down here and it's 80, 90 degrees with what feels like 100% humidity. It's real hot. So that is one of the challenges. Now, if you're just one of those guys or gals and you just step outside and get to that humidity and you're all dry, next thing you know, you just start sweating and it just doesn't turn off, that can be quite the challenge. Now, if you're from one of those cold weather environments, now personally, I'm from upstate New York originally. When it got super, super cold, I'm talking about in the single digits, sometimes in the negatives, we would just run to the heat from one heat to the other. Well, here in Florida, it's not that much different, except in the summertime, we just jump to the AC to AC to AC. So it's just on the opposite side of the coin. Again, a challenge, but that's only for maybe a couple of months out of the year. We're talking July, August, sometimes September, where we're getting those terrible, terrible, hot, humid days. After that, it's gorgeous. Okay, number 3 on the list is the cost of living. Cost of living can be rather expensive, again, depending on where you're coming from. If you're coming from New York City or somewhere out in California and you look at our cost of living here, it's not going to be anything to you guys, right? It's going to be much, much less in comparison to those. But across the continental United States, if you're out there in Ohio or something like that and you come down here, the cost of living is going to go up quite a bit. Now, we don't see it being like 150% over the national average, but we do see it come up to maybe 102, 110. If you want some more information on cost of living for the northwest part of Florida, please do visit our channel. Shameless plug. And we do have plenty of information and a breakdown of cost of living in the northwest part of Florida. Okay, number 4 is travel. Now, the good news is that there's great parks around here to go to. The bad news is that there's not a lot of direct routes to get there. In Central Florida and even up here in Northwest Florida, you have water that gets all over places, and as the crow flies, meaning a straight line to where you go, it doesn't seem that far away. But when you want to go 5 miles and you've got to go the most circuitous route possible all around the place, it gets a little frustrating, right? And there's typically only a couple of different ways that you can go, a couple of different highways. So if you were somewhere else, say in the Midwest, you have great systems where you can go to a road that finally gets to another one and whatever, you have different ways around. Here it's not so much. So if you have a lot of bodies of water around, you have to go around different things and everybody else does, which causes more traffic, and it kind of sucks. Speaking of, number 5, traffic. Oh, traffic. I gotta tell you a story. So traffic gets crazy, not only here in Northwest Florida, but definitely down in Fort Lauderdale. Miami is probably the worst area. So when I went out to purchase a car down in Miami, and I was gonna drive it back here to the Destin area, and I remember getting in the car, and with moments, maybe 5 to 10 minutes after that, I get on the highway, I start going north, and bam, somebody hits me within less than 20 minutes from me signing to say that it was mine and completely wrecked my car. So the traffic's a little crazy. It can be. Rear-ended me just out of nowhere, right? So yeah, traffic can be crazy. It's definitely worse when it gets down towards the Miami and Central Florida area. Crazy. As you get up more to the northern part of Florida, it's not as bad. People do drive way faster than they probably should, but that seems to be the norm. People get desensitized to it. But the traffic, again, can get lots of congestion because of our tourism and just everybody trying to go some places. And because that travel, trying to get around places, it kind of gets some bottlenecks in certain places. They are improving over time, but it's going to take some time. Number 6 on the list is hurricanes, tropical storms. Yeah, you get to live in this beautiful place, but yep, Mother Nature will come through. So starting in July-ish, August, we start to get our hurricane season for 3 to 4 months. That being said, you're going to be walking out and it will be beautiful sunshine, and then 10 minutes later it'll be pouring rain. Wait about 3 minutes and it's sunshine again. It's just our weather here, okay? A lot of them when they come through, most of these structures that you're seeing here have been through many hurricanes before. And the building code to make sure that these condos, these homes are good to go, like there are mitigation things that they have to do for roofs and certain building specs to make sure that they're good to go. Now, we're also going to make sure that you're not in a surge area or in a flood zone. If that's the case, then all right. But just know that every hurricane isn't all the same. Usually a Cat 1 through a Cat 3, people will stick around, do a little hurricane party, get your favorite libation and snacks, and just, get some candles and hang out, right? Anything above that, people are evacuating anyway, so just be smart when it comes to that. You'll be another crazy Floridian like the rest of us. All right, number 7 is you basically need a car to go anywhere, to live here in most places. Okay, so the big cities, maybe not so much, but definitely here in Northwest Florida, to get anywhere and to function, you do need a vehicle yourself. The public transit system just isn't that great. So you most likely will need a car, and yes, you're going to have to deal with the traffic depending upon where you're at, so that may be a downturn for you. So what makes it worth it, right? What makes it worth it? Well, first things first is you get reduced taxes. That's right. There's no income tax that you have to worry about here in the state of Florida. Woo, that's a big nicety that we do have. That is made up due to all the tourism that comes in and the sales tax that they do pay, which is pretty awesome. So you do have reduced taxes here. Of course, I'd have to say make sure that you talk to your accountant, CPA, what have you, to make sure that that makes most sense for your situation. Gotta say. All right, number 2 is the affordable housing. Well, depending. Again, where if you're coming from a less affluent place and coming down here, I mean, the housing could be a little bit expensive. That's either to rent or to purchase. I know the closer that you're going to get to the high tourism areas, the more money it's going to cost, and of course, closer to a body of water, same thing. Also, number 3, there's a great job market here. There really is, especially if you're in sales or if you're in the customer service industry. All of this, because it attracts so much, restaurants, there's just so much here for you to take advantage of. So the job market's really good because we do have lots and lots of commerce that happen here in Florida. Now, of course, number 4, you get access to beaches pretty much anywhere. There's always public accesses to different beaches. Now, there's going to be a good mix of private beaches and public access beaches, depending upon what you're looking for. Even in Northwest Florida, there are certain counties that will rope off certain parts of the beach, and then there's others that it's just a free-for-all, right? Some of which are part of Air Force bases, so if you don't want to get, somebody coming after you from the base in a military vehicle, I'd probably avoid those places as well. All right. Number 5 is there's never a shortage on fun things to do. As we mentioned before, there's amusement parks when it's warm out, which is most of the time. There's great boating, there's fishing, golf if you're a golfer like me and you're terrible at it, but you do enjoy the game. It's a great place to be because you can golf year round. It is absolutely awesome. Never a shortage of things to do. And last but not least, number 6 is it's a very diverse and relaxed culture. Now, I can say this across most of Florida, but I can really relate to it here in Northwest Florida. At least here in Northwest Florida, around the Destin area, there's 4 or 5 military installations. And a lot of us, once we realize how awesome this place is, we end up staying. And because of that, we have a whole diverse amount of people from California, New York, from all different races, from everything, from all different parts of the world end up being here. And it's just really nice and really relaxed, very respectful culture that you get to be a part of. So all those other things that are kind of like, I don't know if I want to be down here, this kind of really makes up for it at the end of the day. I really love my neighbors. I love my community. And if you're like that, I'd love you to be part of my community. Well, that's all I have for living in Florida. It's not easy, but totally worth it. If you've got any questions about anything I mentioned here, go ahead and leave them here in the comments below. And if you are moving to this area, especially here in Northwest Florida, if you're going to regular Central Florida, I can hook you up with a good realtor as well. But go ahead and give me a call, text, email, the email that you see on the screen here. Go ahead and hit that one up. That's the best way to get a hold of us. However, you can find us on social media. Whatever you need to do, we're happy to help any way that we can. So again, I'm Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group with eXp Realty. We'll see you in our next video.